Sup, bro? All right, so today we are talking about the Xbox Series X. We're going to talk everything that came out just a couple of weeks ago and see how cool this thing's going to be.
That's right. We're going to go over the look of the Xbox Series X. We're going over the specs, the exclusive games, and most importantly, the price. What are we paying for this thing?
Yeah, it's going to be good. Let's get started.
Let's get into it.
All right, bro. So, like we started off with the PlayStation in our last video. If you haven't seen that, guys, please check it out. There'll be a card coming up somewhere, here or there. That's gonna be talking about that. If you haven't seen all our first reactions and looks to the PlayStation, check it out. But now we're gonna be talking about the look of the Xbox. And you know what? I'm gonna throw it to you. I'll let you start it. I want to know what you think about this because I know what I think about this, and I want to be the second punch this time.
Okay, now I know what you think about this too because we've talked about this off camera, right? But I personally thought the PS5 has a really cool look, a new futuristic look. This look, I personally think it's really sleek. It is really nice. I will give them props for it because it does look really small and really like compact. I like
Toaster?
that about it. It looks like a little toaster. It really does. I think it's neat. It's really neat. I think is the word to use. On my part, I definitely would look into getting an Xbox Series X. It all really just depends on my friends. It depends what everyone decides, man.
It is beautiful. It looks like a little PC. It looks like the most portable PC you could ever think of. Like, I was trying to build a portable PC. My PC ended up being huge. It's portable, but it's not a lunchbox. This looks like the lunchbox sized. It's perfect. It's what I would be okay with putting this, even standing up like the long ways. I'd be okay with having this in my house, or I could lay it down the other way, make it look like a DVD player. It is perfect. I think that they nailed it on the design. You can't go wrong with a box.
You can't.
Especially if your name's Xbox. Like, you don't your Xbox, so you make a box and you make it look good, and it's sleek, it's cute. It's got the little dent on the top with the green glow on it, which kind of gives it a more of a PC vibes and stuff. So honestly, I love this design. I think they destroyed PlayStation on it, but we'll talk about that later in another video coming up next week. But for this, it's beautiful. I think this is what it should have been. This is what consoles should look like. They don't need to look like PCs. They just need to look sleek, pretty. Or, like, if we're going Nintendo way, then they can look kind of weird and funky and clunky, but no one buys them. I mean, you buy them and then you kind of like hide them away and you don't tell people you have them and stuff. So yeah, I think it's perfect. I think it's a good thing. Another thing we saw that the controller looks a little bit bigger.
Yeah, we were watching a review. Somebody else kind of like touching up on more info so we could educate ourselves on it. And we saw this giant controller, and I really hope it's not a giant controller because when we went from Xbox 360 to Xbox One, we got a sleek controller that was a little smaller. It fit better in my hands. I don't have huge hands to grab like a huge controller.
I have little hands too.
So when I went over to the PS4, PS4 was like nice and sleek. It's like a little smaller for me.
You're good. Keep going.
It was a little smaller for me, so I was able to grab it better. And so I don't know for you gamers out there, if you play Claw, you have to grab the controller like this. Grabbing the controller like that on an Xbox controller was a lot harder because it was so much bigger. But I don't know. I'm just hoping
we all know that the correct size of a controller should be the Xbox 360 controller, and I'm always gonna stand by that. That was the perfect controller in every way. The triggers felt like triggers. The bumpers were at the bumpers area. They were perfect. It was perfect to hold. You had two fingers in the back. You had all your thumbs to do whatever you want, and then once like all those scuff controllers and all that stuff came by, you had the bumpers in the back.
Paddles in the back, yep.
And then it just I think a scuff Xbox 360 controller, or even a scuff Xbox One controller, which is a little sleeker,
Xbox One
is the perfect gaming controller. And I feel like they just don't mess it up. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Xbox, don't make it bigger, don't make it clunky. Keep it how it is. Maybe you're gonna have different sizes for different people. If people like it heavier and stuff like that, maybe okay, I can understand that. Some people like them bigger, some people like them smaller, but in control sake, I think that control is the perfect one. But I think it looks beautiful. The box, the Xbox,
All
is
right,
pretty.
well, let's get into your beautiful box now. Let's get into the specs of the box.
All right,
We
yeah.
know that there's gonna be upgrades. This is next gen. We're looking at what's gonna be stronger and like how close are we getting to PC gaming? Are we ever gonna get there? Probably not. But let's see like what are the graphics? I'll let you take it away with your geeky mind.
All right. So looking at the graphics firsthand, very similar to the PlayStation in a lot of areas, but I think there is a few places where it just ekes it out by just a hair, and that's crazy to me. And the fact that we were talking about the PlayStation, we were thinking that it was going to be a console killer, and I mean a budget PC killer like those $500 $600 PCs, they're not going to be worth the buy anymore, especially with this thing. This thing might, I'm pretty sure it's going to be able to run Windows. And if you can run Windows on this Xbox 360, there is never going to be a need to get yourself a gaming PC ever again. Because once you have Windows, you can run everything you want to run on there. And you have a cheap version of Windows with games that are going to play good. It's going to make developers make games for the Xbox. Like use that as their like main model to make sure everything's 1080p 60. Or at the very worst 1080p 30 with 720p 60 on the whole game, making it run nice and smooth and clear on it all. So now that I gave that whole rant, the processor, an 8-core AMD Ryzen Zen 2 architecture CPU with 3.6 to 3.8, I believe. 3.7 to 3.8 is the one I have in my screen right now, my graphic, but I believe I read somewhere else that it was 3.6 to 3.8. And I think most of the time it's going to run at 3.8 unless they want to do multi-core clocking, which is going to like combine the cores. It's going to bring it down to 4 cores, but they're going to be working together in synchronous to push it up to about 16. I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand it fully, but from what I understand, these 8 cores are more than enough to do anything you want to do. The 3.8 gigahertz is amazing. It's basically what I have on my Ryzen 5 3600. I think it might be even more because I think my Ryzen 5 3600 is 3.5 gigahertz. So it has more power there. I mean, it is on a portable version, so it's not going to bring as much like heat protection or push to it. So, but it's pretty good. Like, I think this processor is really, really great. I don't know if you understand anything, but what do you think about it being comparable to the one I have in my $1,000 PC?
Now you bring that up how it's like a portable unit. I'm wondering how's it gonna do with the whole cooling systems. Like how are those cooling systems gonna work? Will they mess up? I'm sure they have their technology down and tested, right? But it's just something interesting that I like to think about, like as a geek myself. Like how is this whole airflow and cooling system gonna work?
Yeah, I mean, it's got holes on the top and on the bottom that make it that, and I'm sure there'll be fans on each end, and they'll get air going right through all that stuff. But that I'm sure the motherboard itself is set up with a bunch of heat sinks. At least from that video we were seeing. It also we'll leave a link to that video in the bottom if you guys want to see it. It seemed like it had enough protection and all that kind of stuff that you kind of need to keep everything cool. And the processor strong enough. Let's talk about the graphics card now. I feel like that's enough about a processor that's going to look good and it's going to work well. Well, the graphics card is an AMD Navi RDNA 2 family GPU with 52 CUDA cores, which is an insane amount of CUDA cores at 1.8825 gigahertz, which is honestly a little slow. I'm disappointed in that. It's a little slow, but it makes it up with the 12 teraflops and FP32. 12 teraflops is a lot of teraflops on a little GPU that's going to be a lot of pushing power, a lot of graphics pushing power. I expect every game to run 1080p 60 on this, and if it's not, I'm blaming you the developers. I'm talking to you, Activision, Blizzard, whoever's doing Warzone right now that's not optimizing things well. This will make games be so well optimized and make sure that they all run 1080 60p on this console. And since it's gonna be like a semi-small computer, I feel like that's gonna bring a lot of like interesting stuff towards the computer side, making games better optimized. Games that weren't meant to be on PC, that were meant to only be on Xbox, are now going to be even better optimized to be on PC, which gets me super excited. And this type of graphics card allows us to see this in the future. So I'm very excited for it. Video and memory, again, 16 gigabytes DDR6, GDDR6. That's all fine and dandy. All that stuff is just what's expected to it. What do you think about this graphics card?
Graphics card looks great. I mean, like you said, the little bit of slowness on the 1.825 gigahertz, but I mean, it's really, you know, inching its way to a budget PC, like you said. So it's gonna be exciting stuff. I'm wondering how that Windows is gonna be running on it. If it does, that's what we've investigated and heard so far. So really excited about that, and maybe we would have to get our hands on it to see how it works.
I mean, it would basically turn into a great little just gaming PC. You can't, I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll have like console streaming out of it, so you'll be able to stream, but I don't think you'll be able to run OBS and play your games at the highest. At that budget, I feel like it's not there yet. Technology is not there yet, but the fact that we'll be able to play at 1080 60 and stream at 1080 60 without a camera and all that other stuff, it's really really interesting to me. A lot of people have been looking forward to that, and it is a budget version for all us budget gamers out there. So yeah, I really think it's important. Let's talk about the other few things. 1 terabyte storage, which is great.
It's needed at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, Warzone takes up a tenth of this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just had to buy a terabyte for my computer.
SSD,
I just had to buy another terabyte SSD. I had a 512 gigs. So I was like, I'll save. I don't need that much. Then I downloaded Warzone, and I was like, well, I only have 200 gigabytes left. I need myself a terabyte so that I can make sure I have enough, especially with games these days and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. 4K Blu-ray, again, super cool thing to have. If you're still watching Blu-rays out there, go for it. The 4K Blu-ray optical drive, you can plug them in, watch your pretty movies. Maximum output resolution, this is interesting. 8K for all those people that have an 8K monitor. I'm sure this is going to be like in videos and stuff like that. I don't see games going at that, but yeah. All right, so maximum frame rate according to this is 4K 120 FPS, which is insane. If that's for real on games, that's insane. But I'm gonna go with optimization and stuff like that. That's not gonna be realistic, not at this point. But definitely interesting that movies and videos might be able to go up to 4K 120 FPS. This could double as like your Blu-ray player and everything you need for a home like studio. Audio, tray trace, that's okay. New controller, share button, dynamic legacy input, so it'll have a cool new button on it. VR support, we don't know yet. Console streaming for sure. Backwards compatibility, you'll be able to have your Xbox One supported Xbox 360 games, so cool. Subscription, okay, all that stuff, and the release date, Thanksgiving 2020. So that's basically it for the
specs.
The specs. What do you think overall? What kind of grade do you give it? Are you excited about it?
I'm excited about it. I will give it. I'll say like it has to be like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Like these specs look very promising. We will have to wait till we get our hands on it to see how it actually runs. I'm very excited to see if what if they do go into VR and bring in that VR support. That would be some interesting stuff.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, if Xbox goes into VR support, PlayStation already has it. And really the market for VR is kind of crazy. I don't think it's a market that's coming into its own anytime soon because it's just so much. You need a whole room.
Yeah.
You need to buy like a PC that has everything, and then you need another device that connects to that PC. So if you could integrate that VR into that Xbox and only have to buy like whatever the Kinect was, and actually spread it to get a whole VR, make VR more accessible with this console, I say that's one of those things that we think of as going into like the second version of this console that'll come out in like 4 or 5 years. I feel like that would be something that to be looking forward to if we're already thinking that there is going to be a VR support kind of stuff. So yeah, super interesting stuff. I'm really excited about it. Again, you gave it an 8 or a 9. I think I give it a 9, a solid 9, especially as a mini PC, which is kind of what it looks like to me. Something I would love to have in my room and stuff like that too. So yeah, it's super great, super cool to think about all this geeky stuff, and yeah. So
now that we're done with the specs, we can get into the games, the actual games that we'll be playing. We saw a couple of trailers and some gameplay that was shown, and in my opinion, it looked beautiful. And I know you're about to go crazy and tell them how
am I
beautiful
the Xbox fanboy here?
So Yeah, it looked beautiful. The one game that we saw the most was Halo.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about Halo?
So the little intro that Xbox had was quick, 1 minute 30 seconds, and there was a Halo that looked up and you were asking me what are the exclusives for Xbox, and the Halo pops up as soon as you say that. I'm like Halo.
Halo.
And as an FPS fan myself, and so are you.
Of course,
you're a
yeah.
COD fan, and you played more Halo than I did back in the day.
I played Halo Reach a good
Yeah,
amount.
you played Halo Reach a good amount, and you even got into Halo 4 a little bit, if I remember.
Halo 3 Customs was
Yeah, exactly.
That was the
So
time.
so I'm excited about it. I think Halo is going to look awesome, and especially I'm really excited to see if they'll be able to like cross it into a PC world, because I would love to play some Halo on my computer and just look at the prettiness that it looks. I can see how beautiful it looks already on this console, on the Xbox. I can't wait to see it on like a 20 what is the graphics card? It's a 2080 Ti or something crazy like that. I can't wait to see that, but it looked so nice. Like the plants were blooming, it was pretty, there was water going over it, very similar to what PlayStation did, just kind of showing off the graphics that it could output on a video format, and then giving you the hype with Halo. I mean, PlayStation gave you the hype with Grand Theft Auto and Spider-Man, but here we got the hype of Halo, and then FIFA was also in there. FIFA looks good, but it's also just a FIFA game. Sorry, any FIFA lovers out there.
Look, we like soccer. Don't get it wrong.
I love soccer.
But
one of my favorite sports.
the
It's
issue
a big
with
green field.
yeah,
There's not
the
too much
issue,
details.
Yeah, the issue with a football game or like a soccer game, is there's not much else to add. It's like 2K. What else can you add?
Yeah, it's a big green field. The car game looked good. Those cars looked like it had some detail. I'm not sure which one it was. It was Forza or it was.
It's gotta be Forza.
It's gotta be Forza, right? Yeah, I don't know what game it was.
Horizon, something
Maybe.
Horizon?
Yeah, maybe something like that. It's one of the car games. The cars look pretty sweet. They got the drift. They got the air
drift,
swishing
yeah.
behind it. It was pretty cool. I'm excited for that. But again, mostly excited to play Halo, and whatever other exclusives eventually come out there, I think will also be good. Good for the game. Good for the community, for everyone to watch. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about all those things, and I think so far the Xbox is looking good out in Thanksgiving. So let's go to our last little thing, and that's the price, man.
Yes, we're looking at the price. So,
again, all
rumors?
speculation, price is unknown.
Exactly. Yeah.
Similar things. What I've heard is that whatever the PlayStation price is, this is gonna come in at $100 lower. And the highest we saw we think of the PlayStation 5 going would be like $600.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this is gonna go either 400 or 500.
400 or 500. Yeah,
I'm thinking 500. That's where I'm leaning to. I don't know what you're thinking.
Now it depends. Like you said, if they're really gonna wait for PS4 to announce their price and then bring it down $100, I mean that's a little risky in a sense. But they, I think it'll go. I don't want to say 500. I want to say 400. I really do want to say 400 because I have this feeling that
$499 or $399.
$499.
Okay.
No. $399.
$399. $400
yeah,
for this.
$400.
All this packed on there.
I mean,
I'm thinking at the $499 is where it's gonna be at, and I think that the PlayStation is gonna come in at $599.
oh, bro, these numbers are hurting me.
Yeah, these numbers are hurting me, but they
I
are
wanna
great.
buy it.
They are super interesting because, shoot, you could have both of these consoles if they both come out at $499. If they somehow manage it to figure it out that both of them come out at $499, you can have both of these consoles for the price of my computer with my monitor.
You know what? Now that I think about it, yeah, I don't think I could see it at $399.
$399 feels
Because
too low,
of the,
man. Too
because,
low.
Because now that we're looking at all the specs, now that everything that comes with the console itself, what is it worth? What is its value? And its value cannot be
$400. There's no way.
So like a company's putting a value on their product and what they're selling. So
wait, all right, I got an idea.
I would gladly pay $500.
What do you think of the $449.99?
$449.
So $450.
Yeah, so they bait you into paying.
Yeah, they're
$50
like,
less.
oh yeah, it's a $400 console, and they come out with all that marketing, and then boom, more people buy the Xbox because it's cheaper. I don't know. I think this is something cool we can get into when we're talking about PlayStation versus Xbox.
Man.
But if you guys want to catch us in our next video together. That'll be in about a week from now.
Yes.
we'll be talking about that stuff. So really exciting stuff. I'm really happy that both of these consoles actually look good. The specs look good.
Mm-hmm.
The kinds of things we're going to be playing look good. And I think playing games at 1080p 60 on console will be a reality for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone that has a new console will be able to do this at the end of this year, which is awesome.
That's awesome to think about. And, sometimes people don't have that luxury to get that PS4 Pro. So now they're just like, even the low is going to be our high right now.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Yeah, raising that bar,
amazing.
which is incredible.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed us talking about the Xbox Series X. It's gonna be interesting. Look for more videos about this around Thanksgiving once all this stuff comes out, or actually around Halloween once we get better details, more information, more games, more images, all this kind of stuff. Once this, look for more videos just like this with me and my little bro. My name is Studi. My little brother Manny here. We are brothers. We are gamers. It was good to see you guys. Take care. Goodbye.
It's a talking. Oh my God! Delete that part.